Hello, Redlow friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Hello Redlow podcast. I'm your host, Terry Mullen, and I am so happy you're here. If you're new here, welcome. Redlow is older spelled backwards. I am older, and perhaps you are too. And I show up here each week trying to help each one of us step forward with our lives by navigating these life transitions, overcoming hard things, and rediscovering who we are now in this season of life. I have a great episode today, so sit back, listen in, and let's keep stepping forward. There's an amazing you inside of you. Those words came to me. I really feel they were prompted by God just in my spirit as I'm on my walk. And I've been thinking about it ever since I heard those words because it applies to my life, but it applies to you as well. And I think so often that we seek approval from the outside world, right? That we fit in, that we're smart enough, we're qualified, we are creative enough, we're unique enough, we're strong enough, we're pretty enough, whatever that is, that validation, we keep looking for it in the outside world. And in this digital era, we compare ourselves even more than ever before, instead of trusting who we are, who God created us to be, right? There are 8 billion people in the world, but there's only one you with your DNA, with your thoughts, with your ideas, with your creativity, with your heart, with your passion, with all those things that make you uniquely and wonderfully you. But we doubt it, don't we? We question it. We doubt our thoughts. We doubt our ideas. We doubt who we are. And instead of trusting the idea that God has given us and going for it and just going after it, we look for what other people are doing. Because if other people are doing it a certain way, then that must mean we need to do it that way. But what if you're a leader? What if God gave you an idea and is encouraging you to go a specific direction, not follow along, not go with the crowd, but be different? Use your voice to be a light of encouragement to others who might really need it. Maybe you are meant to start a program or a course and do it differently than everybody else is doing it. Maybe you have a business idea that seems completely different than how someone else is doing it. Maybe you have a really unique way, a really genuine, honest, authentic way of connecting with other people. Maybe it's different than the way other people do it. Maybe you have an idea to start a podcast or to write your book and use your voice in a way that could really bless other people. So all that to say, whatever it is, I just want to encourage you to be authentically you. Stop looking to the outside world for approval, to try to fit in. You don't need to fit in. You need to be you because there's an amazing you inside of you. And I also want to encourage you that whatever experiences you've had in your life have happened to you for a reason, right? All those disappointments maybe you had, those failures, those challenges that you've overcome, those really hard things that you got on the other side of, they also make you who you are. They've strengthened you. They've given you courage. They've given you tenacity. They've given you resilience. And they've helped you rediscover who you are at your core. And that's beautiful. I've learned that when you go through really hard things, it strips everything away. And you have to face you in all the most challenging and most beautiful ways. You really have to go inward and really figure out who you really are at your core. What are your values? What do you believe? What do you believe about yourself? What do you believe about those around you? Who has contributed to your life and really been there for you when you've needed them most? Who draws energy from you and takes from you? Who do you need to walk away from and stop pleasing so that you can become the best version of yourself? Who do you need to stop seeking approval from? In my book, Step Forward, I use shoes as metaphors, and I've shared this many times before. But one of those shoes I had to step into in order to step forward with my life was the battle boots. I had to stop running from myself. And I realized when we hit a crisis in our own my marriage and our relationship at midlife and the different things that we were going through, I could no longer go around the things that I've probably been running from for many years. Even though I thought I dealt with them, I really hadn't. There were some things at my core that I really had to deal with, and I had to step into these boots and walk through the fire. I had to walk through the muck of it all, the rubble, and rediscover who I am now at midlife, and embrace it and celebrate it and be proud of it and find my voice. And you can do the same, because there's an amazing you inside of you. Someone who's strong and smart and qualified and has learned some new ways to do something, how to overcome a hard situation or a difficulty and get on the other side of it. Yes, someone who can help someone else through that difficult situation and show them how to heal, how to start a business, how to start a podcast, how to write a book, how to speak. Yes, you are full of ideas. But here's the secret sauce. In order to move forward, I believe we have to let go. I have a quote in my book. I say, some people think it's holding on that makes us strong. Sometimes it's letting go. That quote is from Unknown, but it makes me think about letting go of other people's opinions, letting go of people pleasing, letting go of people that don't support or encourage us or help us be our best selves. It's letting go of what you think you should be and be who you really are. It's also letting go of the good girl. And that is battle number 5 that I've had to fight. And if you're struggling with this today, I want to encourage you to let go. Permission granted. In my book, I say you don't have to be the good girl anymore. The good girl syndrome is real. It's an idea and a value that you hold that says you must be good and always do good in order to receive love, to be accepted, and to feel worthy. And this is not the same as being a good person and having integrity. The good girl always does the right thing. She smiles and appears happy on the outside. She shows up for others, always. She shows up for anyone who needs her. She takes the calls, she helps, she gives advice, and she solves problems. She knows what is expected of her. She doesn't lean into conversations when she's upset because she's been told to be quiet for so long. She was told it doesn't matter. Stop being so emotional. Stop making an issue. So she stops speaking up and she just does things. She rarely raises her voice and shows anger. It takes a lot to get her upset. Often, when something goes wrong, she takes responsibility for it, even if it's not her fault. She's hard on herself and beats herself up for the mistakes she's made. She takes responsibility for herself and everyone else around her. And if you have experienced this, you're not alone. But maybe it's time to let her go. You don't need to be the good girl anymore. And maybe you're like me. Maybe you're standing at a crossroad of something challenging and difficult, and you can't be who you once were. Something forces you to step forward and let go of all those things that have held you back in a way, or kept you stuck, or kept you quiet, and kept you believing that your voice and your experience has power to help someone else. In my book, I describe it as suddenly there were warning lights that were urgently flashing. I couldn't be who I once was. And I'm encouraging you to lean into that. Don't ignore those warning signs within you. That's the first signal that you're stepping into a transformation. You're growing. I know it feels awkward, but it's okay. Embrace it. It's time to let go of all those P's in your life. The proving, performing, pleasing, perfecting, and pretending. It's time to step forward and really see the amazing you inside of you. It's time to step forward and use your voice. In my book, I say step forward with the 10 S's, and I'll share those with you. Number 1, start speaking up. Start speaking your truth and use your voice. Number 2, stand up for yourself. You're not a doormat or a dump truck. Number 3, say no and set boundaries. Remember that no is a complete sentence. Number 4, stand your ground. If you say something, stick to it. Do not allow others, those who need you and use your empathy and your kindness to convince you to do something different. Number 5, speak with love. Standing up for yourself, speaking your truth, and saying no can be done with love and kindness and grace. It does not have to be loud or rude or disrespectful. And remember, there's an amazing you inside of you, so it won't, because that isn't who you are. And trust that. Number 6, stop pleasing others and seeking approval from those who will never give it to you. Number 7, stop apologizing immediately. This includes saying, I'm sorry. In my book, I talk about how I used to say, I'm sorry all the time, even when it wasn't necessary. It became a really bad habit for me, and my friends actually kind of did an intervention and had to bring that awareness to me and remind me to stop saying I'm sorry. And it actually really, really worked. I catch myself even today, so I'm so grateful for that. Number 8, stop taking responsibility for others' mistakes. Number 9, stop smiling when you're hurting. Say how you really feel, especially to those who are close to you and that you trust and feel safe with. Number 10, stare fear in the face and step forward with your life, because you are full of courage. You've already been through some really hard things. You're incredibly resilient, and you have a whole lot of tenacity to keep stepping forward towards your dreams and your goals. And I want to empower you and encourage you to use your voice to step forward. Whether you want to write that book, you want to speak on camera, you want to start a podcast, you want to create a course and start a business, whatever that is, I'm encouraging you to trust yourself and to listen to that still small whisper in your soul, especially if it's getting louder and it doesn't go away, because that's what happened to me. And I want to remind you that there's an amazing you inside of you. And if you need some help discovering your voice and having that confidence on camera, I will be doing a 2-hour workshop on Monday, November 20th. I have done this before and had just some really great reviews from this class. It's really fun. And I've learned along the way, in my journey at least, that this is something I love to do. It's kind of grown and evolved. It wasn't always that way for me, but I have discovered that I love speaking here behind the microphone. I love speaking to others, and I love doing my videos and speaking on camera and making it fun. And so as that passion continues to grow, I want to help others do the same. Sometimes speaking can be the very hardest thing for all of us. It's still one of the greatest fears. Public speaking and speaking on camera is still one of the greatest fears that many people have. So I'd love to have you join me. We'll be doing it at 11 a.m. on Monday, November 20th, at Pacific Standard Time. And if that's something you're interested in, you can DM me or just watch for the post that I will be posting in my Facebook. That's Terry Mullen. And just let me know that's something you're interested in. Love to have you. Until we meet again, may you know that you are seen, you are heard, you are loved, you are valued, and you belong. Keep stepping forward. God bless.